Coming up on KCCI 8 News Close Up.
Food insecurity is a problem across every community, every neighborhood in America.
But as we near the end of 2024, Michelle Book is retiring. The CEO changed the scope of the Food Bank of Iowa to what it is today.
Food Bank of Iowa is in the best position that it has ever been in its 43-year history.
The challenges and the rewards of leading the organization.
Every day, there is something that breaks my heart, and there is something that fills my cup.
And her message for every Iowan.
This is a problem of income inequity, not will and fortitude. We can choose as Iowans to be better, to do better.
This is Iowa's news leader. This is KCCI 8 News Close Up.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us for KCCI 8 News Close Up. I'm Chief Political Reporter Amanda Rooker. Today, we are taking an in-depth look at Iowa's largest hunger relief organization and its leadership. In nearly 9 years of leading the Food Bank of Iowa, CEO Michelle Book has transformed the once underperforming organization to an award-winning food bank. Some of her accomplishments include increasing food distribution across the state by 230%. Book helped the nonprofit modernize its transportation in order to get food to Iowans more quickly. The food bank went from having only 3 old trucks to a fleet of 20 vehicles. Book also helped raise $20 million to renovate and expand the Des Moines facility not once, but twice. At the end of December, Book will hang up her hat and retire.
Let's start at the beginning. What first motivated you to get involved with the Food Bank of Iowa?
Well, it was 2016. I received a text message from Suku Radia. He was in the plane with the board chair of the food bank at the time, Jeff Rommel, going to a board meeting of Nationwides in Columbus. And he texted, he said, "They're looking for a new leader at the food bank. Are you interested?" I texted back, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And then Suku's response was, "That's great, I'll have Jeff call you on Monday." So that's how the conversation started. But what really intrigued me in the moment was the fact that it was a broken operation and it needed to be repaired and rebuilt. I'm a fixer and a builder. I exist to solve complex operational problems. So for me, it was the challenge of doing just that. And to be honest, it was a couple years before I really fell in love with the mission. But once I started to learn more about food insecurity and I met the neighbors whom we serve, I realized the absurdity of food insecurity and just the unfairness of it all. No one in America should be food insecure.
What would you want people at home to know and to learn about food insecurity?
Food insecurity is an income inequity problem. It's not an issue of will and fortitude. 1 in 6 working Iowa households does not make enough income to cover the cost of basic needs. Overall, 37% of the households in Iowa don't have enough money to cover the cost of their essential expenses. Food insecurity can happen to almost anyone at any time.
As you leave this role, is there a memory or a moment or a conversation that you had with a neighbor in need that you'll take with you or you'll, really stands out to you?
Yeah, there are a couple. Early on, I met Gladys in Perry, Iowa, at a food pantry distribution there, and it was on a Saturday morning. And Gladys got off the little community bus to enter the church to get food assistance, and I greeted her. And Gladys said, "Honey, you just get in line with me, and they're going to take care of you." And I said, "No, Gladys, I'm here to help you." And she said, "Oh, no, it's okay. You can ask for help." So I hung out with Gladys and talked to her for quite a while. She was about the age of my dad. She'd been married. Her husband was a decent provider. Their house was paid for. But a telemarketer had scammed her out of her savings. And so she had to come to the food pantry to get food assistance. And I saw her the next month at the distribution. And the third month, Gladys wasn't there. And I asked, "Where's Gladys? Where's my friend Gladys?" And they said, well, neighbors were concerned that she wouldn't have enough to eat. So they moved Gladys from her home into the nursing facility in Perry. and she's getting all of her meals now from the nursing home and doesn't have to come here. But I think of people like Gladys, who could have been in their home, comfortable, happy in an environment that they're used to as they continue to age, but instead can't be because of food insecurity. I'll tell you about a young family that visited a couple summers ago. And it was a mom, a young mom. She had 5 little boys with her. The youngest, a newborn, up to maybe 12, 13-year-old, who was helping to wrangle his brothers. And she came to the door asking for food assistance. And as I sat down and talked with her, we were getting her food put together, and I visited with her. And she said, you know, my husband's got a good job. He works construction. And I have a good job. I work at a convenience store. But right now, I can't go back to work until the doctor has released me, and the baby's 3 weeks old. These boys are home from school for the summer. I can't keep up. There's just not enough food in the house. We're going to be okay once I go back to work and the boys go back to school. But right now, I just need a little help. Every story is different, Amanda, and each one of them is compelling. But what I've learned over time working and meeting Iowans who are struggling to make ends meet is that they're trying. They're really trying. But there's just not enough money in the bank account at the end of the pay period to cover the cost of everything.
Our conversation with Michelle Book will continue after this break.
Welcome back to KCCI 8 News Close Up. Our conversation with Food Bank of Iowa CEO Michelle Book continues.
We have a 30,000 square foot distribution facility.
An inside look at how her 9 years of leadership transformed the organization and what she's most proud of as she prepares to retire at the end of the year.
What was it like? I mean, you mentioned starting in this role and making a lot of changes to the operation. I guess, you know, what changes did you make to set the organization up for success in meeting the increased needs that we've seen over the past few years?
So when I arrived in 2016, Food Bank of Iowa was the 3rd worst performing food bank in the Feeding America network of 200 food banks across the entire United States. And Feeding America gave me 12 months to turn the operation around, which was exciting. A little daunting, but very exciting. So I went to work to assemble a Cracker Jack team of people. We immediately started to work on upgrading facilities. At the time, this building was full of black mold, and we did not have the distribution capacity necessary to bring in enough food to distribute enough food. Our fleet was on its last wheel, literally, and partners had to come to Des Moines to pick up their food. And employees regularly made one another cry. The culture was as dark as the building and the fleet. So the team working together with a great team of people and support from the board at the time, which was just extraordinary. So working with this great team of people, we acquired a failing Feeding America food bank in Ottumwa. We upgraded the facilities both in Ottumwa and Des Moines. We built an incredible fleet of trucks and semi-tractor trailers that now deliver to 700 partners across 30,000 square miles. And we established a culture of all for one and one for all that has allowed us to be very successful over time.
What did you learn about leadership? You know, what qualities do you think enabled you and helped you to turn that around?
Yeah, I've been fortunate over my career to hold many management positions, and it's always been my philosophy to put the people first. When teams are well equipped, feel supported, and are given the authority to succeed, the outcome is always better. The other thing that I think has been vitally important at Food Bank of Iowa, we established a North Star early on, and that North Star being our neighbor in need. Every decision we make at Food Bank of Iowa, the question we must ask is, does this improve the condition for our neighbor in need? I'm most proud of the team here at Food Bank of Iowa that has worked so hard together to provide for Iowans across 55 Iowa counties. I'm most proud of the team. But I'm also proud of our commitment to make sure every senior has access to home delivery, that every child has access to food at a food pantry within their school, that every veteran can receive resources at their veteran services offices, that we are constantly finding ways to be more efficient, to bring in more food, to get more food out to Iowans. This fiscal year will provide 5 times the amount of food that was provided by Food Bank of Iowa in 2015 as a result of all the improvements to the facilities, to the fleet, to the programming, and to the team. But most especially, this is the most collaborative network in the state of Iowa. We collaborate with several hundred food donors. We collaborate with over 700 smaller frontline partner agencies, pantries and meal sites, daycare centers, rehab facilities, to help Iowans in need. This cannot happen in isolation. So what I'm proudest about is this network that we've established across the state of Iowa that will continue for decades to support Iowans who are struggling to make ends meet.
What have your biggest challenges been?
The biggest challenge overall absolutely was COVID. People were afraid. We were all afraid, and there was so much uncertainty. Immediately people lost jobs, and the economy shut down. And it seemed overwhelming, daunting in the moment. I remember calling the governor on a Sunday afternoon to ask for help. We needed the National Guard to help get more food out. It took a month for us to put all that together. In the meantime, a network of evangelical faith leaders stepped into my office and said, what can we do to help? And we really thought we'd get through COVID and have a moment to take a breath and slow down a little bit. But immediately, April of 2022, food insecurity again skyrocketed. And every month since then, we've distributed more food. Almost every month since then, we've distributed more food than the month before. Food insecurity is a problem across every community, every neighborhood in America. What's been extraordinary with the challenges that we've had is that there's always been a solution, there's always been a partner, there's always been a new collaboration that we formed that has helped us succeed in helping more Iowans. So it's really about the partnerships that we built, the collaborations that we've formed that has helped us over those most challenging times. to be able to make it possible for Iowans to put dinner on the table at night.
When we return, our conversation with Michelle Book continues. The biggest challenges she says she faced, how she overcame them, and after 9 years helping neighbors in need, the policies she says she wants in place to fight food insecurity.
Coming up on KCCI 8 News Close Up.
We buy food by the semi-truck load. It's delivered to us in pallets.
She's led Iowa's largest hunger relief organization for nearly 9 years. Our conversation with Michelle Book continues. What she's focused on in her final months leading the Food Bank of Iowa and the changes she's calling for to fight food insecurity.
What does the organizational structure of the Food Bank of Iowa look like right now?
Well, in 2016, we had 16 employees. We were not serving all 55 Iowa counties adequately. Since then, it has been all about building the team. Today, there are 52 passionate hunger fighters that come to work every day energized to serve their neighbor in need. Today we have facilities that are well equipped to bring in enough food, adequate food to get it out to our pantry partners and our meal sites. We've renovated both the Des Moines and the Ottumwa facility. We've built the fleet. Food Bank of Iowa is in the best position that it has ever been in its 43-year history. They are well equipped to move forward for the next couple of decades to serve food insecure Iowans.
What's your advice to the people that will stay to maintain the culture and the legacy that you've built here?
This is hard work. Every day. Every day. There is something that breaks my heart, and there is something that fills my cup. We must be tenacious in the fight against food insecurity. And I'd like my fellow Iowans to know that they can elect lawmakers who will create public policy that will support our frontline workers and our essential workforce. They just simply have to choose to do that. This is a problem of income inequity, not will and fortitude. We can choose as Iowans to be better, to do better.
What solutions have you dreamed of or hoped for, in this role?
We live in an at-will employment state, which means that we are more supportive of business and corporations than we are the individual laborer. We could work on the minimum wage. We're one of 19 states that still adheres to $7.25 minimum wage. We could be more supportive of our labor unions. We live in a state where our politicians have decided to turn back federal poverty support funding, where we've restricted SNAP benefits, where we've made it more difficult for our restaurant workers and our other frontline workers to get access to quality health care. We've made decisions here within the state that make it more difficult for people who are working but struggling to make ends meet. We can change all that. This is within our power to change, to make this state more welcoming and friendly and supportive of our essential workers, people we can't do without. The person who hands you your dry cleaning, that checks you out at the grocery store, that helps you at the gas station. These are all people most likely not making enough money to cover the cost of basic needs. Today in Iowa, a single mom with one child needs to gross about $24 an hour, yet the median wage in Iowa is only $21 an hour. We can change these things. And I believe Iowans have the will and the fortitude to do just that when they choose to do it.
We're in a season of the holiday times. For any Iowans who may be watching this and wondering, how can I help? What can I do to be helpful? What would your message to them be?
If you are an Iowan who's struggling to make ends meet, I encourage you right now, go to the website, foodbankiowa.org, and click the Find Food button. You put your zip code in, it will provide you with a list of resources immediately surrounding your location. If you need help, get help today. That's why we exist. Our pantry partners and our meal sites exist to help you, and we want to help you. If you are fortunate to have the resources where you can help another family, go to foodbankiowa.org and click the Donate button. If you have time, if you have skills that you can lend toward solving this problem of food insecurity, go to Food Bank Iowa to our volunteer site and find a time to volunteer, or go to your local pantry or meal site and volunteer there.
What's next for you? What will the next chapter of your life look like?
We have our foot on the pedal here at Food Bank of Iowa through the end of the year. This is our busiest food distribution time of year and our busiest fundraising time of year. So as I roll into 2025, I plan to take a few weeks to just breathe and learn the complex game of pickleball. Those are my immediate goals. And then I'll turn my attention back to what can I do? Is there anything I can do to continue to improve the human condition?
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Food insecurity is such an important issue, one that isn't going to go away. I'm just so appreciative that you would cover the subject. Thank you.
This break, stay with us. Coming up this Tuesday, KCCI is once again teaming up with the Food Bank of Iowa for Hunger-Free Holidays. It's the food bank's biggest fundraiser of the year, and the reason is simple. No Iowans should have to go hungry during the holidays. The need is greater than ever. This year alone, the Food Bank of Iowa distributed 20% more meals than last year. While that number may not sound significant, that amounts to 21 million meals so far this year. In fact, 345,000 Iowans don't know where their next meal is coming from. 37% of Iowa households don't make enough money to cover their basic needs. And given those statistics, it's no surprise that food pantries are seeing a record amount of people pass through their doors. The Urbandale Food Pantry served around 2,500 families in November. That's about 500 more than usual. KCCI was there as people stocked up for Thanksgiving. The pantry's executive director says she expected extra people to come through ahead of the holiday, just not that big of an increase.
We always anticipate an increase in November, December, just because the holidays, the time of year, kids are home, families are home, a variety of reasons, but I wasn't quite prepared for that 2,500 number.
The Urbandale Pantry is able to serve the increased need with a lot of help through food drives and donations and the couple hundred volunteers who make things at the pantry work. Work is underway on a much needed new building for the pantry. They expect to move in this spring. Well, the Urbandale Food Pantry is one of the many food bank partner pantries that would benefit from your generous donations to the Hunger-Free Holidays campaign. On Tuesday, you can call in during the all-day telethon with your donation or give online. Just look for the link on the homepage of the KCCI website or mobile app. Online donations will be accepted all month. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you back here next Sunday.